Hello and welcome to the Cinematic Attic. I'm Mike. How you doing? In these videos, we talk about movies and we appreciate all forms of physical media, all genres, all films. So if that's all right with you, welcome. So this collection update is going to be another large one, and it's going to be largely headlined by the recent Vinegar Syndrome Halfway to Black Friday sale. But before I get to those titles, from Vinegar Syndrome partner labels prior to the sale, like a month prior, things I got from the previous month, I just got two titles. The first from AGFA, I got the Scare Film Archives Volume 2 Danger Stories release. I have Volume 1, which is Drug Stories. These are all film strips, short film, instructional films about warning you about certain things. In this case, danger. Things you should not do, things you should be careful of. And of course, then they show the consequences. But I've watched a few of these and they're hysterical. So I highly recommend this. Then from Bleeding Skull, I got The Soul Tangler, a film I watched a long time ago, I believe on YouTube. And I was on the fence about whether I should get this. But it does come with a bonus movie. It's a haunted happening. And you give me a bonus movie and you got a sale. So, Soul Tangler. Now, for the actual sale, I ended up buying 52 titles because I'm nuts. And yeah, they give you that whole weekend to say, you make an order and then the next day you're like, man, I should have picked this up and picked that up, and then you're like, oh, I can still get that, and then you do that like every day of the weekend, and you end up with, well, in my case, 52 items. So, in no particular order, there's some of the brand new titles mixed in here, but mostly all former stuff. Starting with Vinegar Syndrome proper, picked up The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. I wanted to make sure I got the version with the box and the booklet before it sold out. This is 4K, some Barbara Steele gothic horror. So I got that. Then see who directed this. Joel M. Reed. Bloodsucking Freaks. A film I was surprised to find that I haven't seen or owned. But this film is in 4K. Or I should say the release is 4K. And they have this interesting slipcover, which, this is not a new release, so this is probably not new to those of you watching, but it's actually magnetically connected and you can take it apart. So, I thought that was pretty novel. Bloodsucking Freaks. And I picked up this title, a Peter Greenaway movie, The Belly of an Architect, which I wasn't going to get, but then I realized I have a VHS to upgrade. So yeah, Brian Dennehy and a Peter Greenaway movie, which is strange, but there it is. Pick that up. Older title. Surprised I haven't bought this before now. Dolly Dearest. Killer Doll movie. Denise Crosby. Then getting some more Cynthia Rothrock, because I'm a fan of Cynthia Rothrock. We got Lady Reporter. Jess Franco. One of his 8,000 movies. Cannibal movie. White Cannibal Queen. One that I've been wanting to get for a very long time, finally did during the sale. 1956, from their Vinegar Syndrome Labs label. Karuku, Beast of the Amazon. Yeah. Another old Vinegar Syndrome release from Ted V. Michaels. One that I was surprised that I hadn't seen or owned before. The Corpse Grinders. How do you not own a movie called The Corpse Grinders? I guess I just heard of this movie so much that I thought I had seen it, but I haven't. But now I can watch it. Another older release, The Passing. This is a low budget, I think, science fiction film that, as it says on the back, had a 1 week theatrical run. So it's kind of a rare movie from 1983. But after reading the synopsis and knowing it's science fiction, picked it up. Not really keen on that cover, but then again, I don't really like the alternate cover, so oh well. Doesn't matter. Passing. One of the VSAs, a revenge movie in the spirit of Ms. 45 and I Spit on Your Grave, A Gun for Jennifer. Looked interesting to me. It's gritty and grimy New York of the mid-90s. So, yeah. 4K of Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. I was surprised I haven't seen this before because it's a British horror anthology film, and I watch those every chance I get. This is an Amicus production. Peter Cushing, of course, Christopher Lee, Donald Sutherland. So as soon as I got this, I watched it because it was strange to me that I hadn't seen a British horror anthology film, one of the horror or Hammer or Amicus films, and I enjoyed it. Directed by Freddie Francis, 1965. Yeah, and it takes place on a train. At least the bookending and in between story scenes are on a train, and I love anything on a train. Another 4K, Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. I've seen this, of course, but I never owned it. Christopher Lee in this as well. But, yeah, the Howling films, it's a strange franchise in that my collection, I for some reason haven't made it a priority to buy them all. So, I own the first one. I didn't own this one until now. I'm not even sure if I own 3 or 4, and there's several more. But finally getting this. Another older title that I'm finally picking up. I've seen this. I saw it a long time ago. So I really wasn't in a hurry to buy it, but took advantage of the sale to get it. From Robert Downey Sr., Putney Swope. Satirical film. I watched it a long time ago. But yep, got that finally. Another one that I can say that I got it finally. On 4K, Mother's Day. Slasher film that I've seen, of course, but just never owned. For whatever reason. Never crossed my path, never made the effort, but I did now. So, Mother's Day, 1980. A collection I wasn't going to get. This is a 3-film VSA collection. Iron Angels 1 through 3. Some action films. I wasn't going to get this until I realized that I had the first film on VHS. as Midnight Angels. So to upgrade that, I went ahead and grabbed this 3-film collection, which also comes with a nice booklet. One of the leading titles, one of the leading new releases during the sale was William Friedkin's Jade, a nice special edition with booklet, and it is 4K. And I got this specifically because I've had this VHS forever. Still haven't watched the movie, but I've had this VHS forever. So now I can watch it in 4K. Finally grabbed Vacation of Terror 1 and 2. These are films that I wanted to buy several times over, but finally, as part of the sale, I went ahead and grabbed it. Vacation of Terror 1 and 2. Speaking of Amicus, I've been getting into Hammer and Amicus a lot lately. A lot of their horror titles, sci-fi titles, and and when I saw that this one was actually an Amicus title, I just went ahead and bought it. The Terranauts, some science fiction. This is some sort of cheesy 60s science fiction. Very colorful aliens. But the Terranauts, fantastic cover. But I did watch it and enjoyed it for the most part, although I can see where it wouldn't be for everyone. Mexican slasher, yes please. This is one that I've heard about. Finally got it. Hell's Trap from Pedro Galindo III, who actually directed Vacation of Terror, at least part 2. Anyway, you say slasher, you give me a date that's in the 1980s, I'm going to buy it. So, there we go. I don't know how I haven't picked this up before. It's an older title from VS, but I finally did. The House on Tombstone Hill. Another slasher. Slasher and blend of slasher and zombie film. 1988. Yes, please. The House Where Death Lives. Now you'll notice that for most of these titles, if I had a choice, I did not get the slipcover just to make it cheaper, especially buying so many. For some reason, I got this slipcover. I don't know why, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it wasn't available otherwise. Don't know. Anyway, slipcover. Also known as Delusion, but it's another slasher from 1981. Obscure early slasher, it says. So, yeah. Natural buy for me. I got the double feature. Hong Kong Films Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. I got this mainly for Her Vengeance because I've seen it before. It's another revenge movie in the spirit of Ms. 45, I Spit on Your Grave, that kind of thing. But what I like about Her Vengeance is that it doesn't make her an unstoppable killing machine in her pursuit of revenge. She actually makes mistakes. People she cares about gets killed along the way. Things just are messy, which would probably be more real life if someone tried to do that. But yeah, so happy to get that film. But I haven't checked Devil Fetus out. But anyway, got that. Next up, another double feature of, I believe, Italian horror films, Spectres and Maya. Looking forward to checking that out. From Beyond. Some Stuart Gordon 4K. There's the cover you're used to seeing. Uh, I appreciate, respect, and like Stuart Gordon's work like this and Reanimator and whatnot. It's not really my aesthetic, but I can respect it and appreciate it and watch it. So that's why I didn't grab this right away, but as part of this big haul I did. The Carpenter, because Wings Hauser. Killer Carpenter slasher movie. Wings Hauser. Take my money. I haven't watched it yet, so looking forward to that. Another, actually, really old Vinegar Syndrome release. Finally picking up Sugar Cookies. I don't know why I didn't pick this up before. Maybe I just didn't read the synopsis or something, but once I did, I'm like, well, yeah, I want that. So I've got Sugar Cookies, Lynn Lowry. Play Dead, Killer Dog movie, 1982. Beyond the Door 3. I think I mentioned earlier with Dr. Terror's House of Horrors that I love train movies. Well, this the alternate title for this movie is Amok Train, because it's a possessed train that does whatever it wants. Kills people, yes, but it's an unstoppable possessed train that if it wants to just leaves the track. It's a bit of madness. I mean, the movie itself is okay and all, but the premise and watching what they do with this train at certain points is just fun. But yeah, Beyond the Door 3, I did watch this after I got it. If you like trains, this is a good one. Then some of the Vinegar Syndrome related labels, like Degausser. We have Criminally Insane 2. I bought part 1, so I bought part 2. This also has a bonus film of Dr. Bloodbath, so hey, bonus film. So I'll get around to watching this eventually after I watch part 1. The only cinematograph title that I bought was one that I've been wanting to see for a very long time. And we finally have it here in 4K. Who Killed Teddy Bear? A movie that I've heard talked about a lot on podcasts and whatnot. The reason I said song just there is because I love the theme song to this movie. But I still haven't watched the movie. So now that I have it in an uncut 4K, it's the perfect time. So Who Killed Teddy Bear? 1965. Along with, before I get to the partner labels, because I bought a lot of those too, I did go to the Melusine title because website, because they were also having a sale, being that they're connected with Vinegar Syndrome, part of Vinegar Syndrome. So I went to the Melusine website to see what was on sale, and I just picked up 5 items from there. Three of them are older Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray releases. We have double feature including Roller Babies. We have this double feature of Doris Wishman films, which I picked up specifically because of something that you'll see in a minute. And then Taxi Girls and a double feature here. From the Quality X label, I picked up this double feature because they're Greek films, and I don't think I've seen many Greek films at all. So, out of curiosity, grab that. And also from Quality X, I grabbed Blonde Goddess because it looks like a comic book. It even says Marvel Comics, and I'm a huge comic fan, but it is kind of an homage to 1930s comic books and movie serials, so that sounded like fun. Partner labels. Starting with VHS Hitfest. Got 3 of their titles, including Night, which I did get with a slipcover because I liked the slipcover. This is a never officially released mid-90s vampire movie. So yeah, that sounded like a good time. Picked up The Killing Tide. Obscure film, also from the 90s. Low budget action movie. Looking forward to it. And Deadly Obsession, the films of Bill Reeves. We have almost complete filmography of Bill Reeves, a self-proclaimed Ed Wood of VHS. David "The Rock" Nelson may argue that. But I haven't seen any of these movies, but they're shot on video, and I love that. So looking forward to delving into that. I got one from Utopia. Shiva Baby. This was one that I've almost bought for years, and I just kept hearing everyone recommend it, so I finally, while I was buying all these others, decided to try it. So, got that. Speaking of David "The Rock" Nelson, moving on to Saturn's Core, I got quite a few titles from them, trying to get caught up a little bit with what I wanted. Got the David "The Rock" Nelson Collection Volume 2, featuring The Devil Ant. Giant Fly is really a short film, but Volume 2 from The Rock, the other Rock. Then Guilty Pleasures, I guess a suspenseful kind of movie in a New York apartment complex, but shot on video. And this double feature about a carjacker. I've heard a lot about these shot on video films. Flesh Freaks. This comes with a bonus movie, Kill Them and Eat Them, which I actually already owned, strangely enough. But wanted to check that out. The Good Book. This one's been out a while. I got this one with a slipcover because I like that slipcover, as opposed to that. But some more shot on video goodness there with The Good Book. Double feature. Todd Reynolds double feature. Living a Zombie Dream and Kitty Killers. And of course there's some short films that you get on most of these releases. Night Chills. I've heard people talk about this. Shot on video slasher movie focused around the world of tabletop role-playing games. It sounded like an interesting premise, so got that. Final Saturn's Core title is The Zombie Army. From the cover, you'd think that might make a good double feature with Uncle Sam, but anyway, shot on video film, of course, from Saturn's Core. From AGFA, as I mentioned, or as I hinted at, I got some Doris Wishman. I got all 3 sets from AGFA, and I wanted to get them before they sold out of being in the, the boxes. But I got the 3 volumes. This is actually, I think, the 3rd one. Films of Doris Wishman, the Daylight Years. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 films on there. We have the Moonlight Years. Um, Another bunch of films on there. And we have the Twilight Years with a bunch of movies on there. Wanted to get all those. And of course, as an old school fan of Something Weird video, these are in partnership with Something Weird. And it's an almost full filmography. Why not? So I enjoy these weird old movies. So picked up all those. Also from AGFA, I got this collection of Sarah Jacobson films. The only thing I've seen is the short film I Was a Teenage Serial Killer. So I'll be checking out the rest. From Umbrella, double feature, Into the Damned and Night of Fear. I've seen Night of Fear. A couple of horror films, double feature of horror films from Australia. And Houseboat Horror, also from Umbrella. Sounded fun. I think it's shot on video. Yeah. So Houseboat Horror. I love shot on video. You say shot on video, it's an easy sale for me. From Bleeding Skull, Way Bad Stone. Heard a lot about this. They had more copies available, so I grabbed one. The last thing from the sale. And actually, I should say, after the sale, they had Partners Only month, and I placed an order for a few items. They shipped with the sale order. So those are mixed in here too. I just don't remember exactly which ones they were, except for this one that I've been waiting for. The Devil at Your Heels from Canadian International Pictures. This is one of the wildest documentaries. I know this cover sells it. I mean, it sells it as what it is, but it also doesn't sell it as what you might enjoy about it. The movie's about this guy and his insane quest to jump this car a mile. That's what it's about. Otherwise, I wouldn't be interested in a movie about, a race car driver, a stunt car driver. But this is fantastic. I saw it a long time ago on recommendation from the Pure Cinema podcast, and they actually have some of their content as special features on here, so that's cool. It's cool that they got to be part of that. But this, I highly recommend this. If you glossed over this because you saw a race car driver, don't. This is an unbelievable documentary. A couple other things that are Vinegar Syndrome related, or actually they are Vinegar Syndrome, but they weren't part of the sale. I got these outside of the website because of different reasons. One of them is because this first one sold out. Invisible Maniac 4K. When I decided to go back during the sale and get it, it was sold out. So I went elsewhere. So I got Invisible Maniac. This other one I wanted to buy during the sale, but they only had the standard edition, and I wanted the version with the box and booklet. So I had to go elsewhere to get the Hong Kong Volume 1 that still had the booklet and everything. Three Hong Kong films, one of which sounded really fun. The Deadly Camp, which is described as unfairly labeled by many as the Hong Kong Friday the 13th. Even if it's unfairly labeled as that, that still makes me curious. So anyway, pick that up elsewhere. And then this one I have wanted for a long time. It's not just out of print. It was recalled. It is a title that, well, it was their very second title. Vinegar Syndrome label number 2. Double feature. Sure, Death by Invitation is on here. They put it out later on another drive-in collection, but Savage Water, a film they put out. There was some kind of rights issue. They had to recall this. So obviously those lucky few who got a copy, then we're selling them, at least the ones that were willing to sell them, we're selling them on eBay for ridiculous prices. I finally found one that wasn't too ridiculous. Still not cheap. But I really wanted to get this. The only way to see this movie, or the only way to own this movie, is this release, as far as I know. Maybe there's a VHS somewhere in the world, I don't know. But I saw it maybe a year ago on YouTube. But I wanted to own it. I wanted to get this release. You know, it's that temptation of, oh, the thing's recalled. It's rare, but it has a movie on it that this is how you can see it. So I finally went ahead and got it. So happy to add this to my collection. So moving on to everything else, every other label that I want to talk about. I went to FYE the other day for the first time in a long time. I was driving by the mall and I had some time, so I stopped. Wasn't sure if I'd find anything. I mean, not that there's not things I want to buy there, but you know, a lot of it is overpriced or a lot of it is just common stuff. Anyway, walked by one shelf. This was sitting there. I didn't have it. From Scream Factory, we have Quatermass in the Pit. As I said, I've been trying to watch more Hammer and Amicus films, and the Quatermass series was on my list. I've seen the first movie, but not the second or the third. So I said, yes, I will buy that now. So I left the store happily with this. And of course, having bought that, and having not seen the second film, and wanting to see the second film before I watched the third film, I had to then buy Quatermass 2 online. I have since watched this, so I'm ready to watch part 3, but I did watch Quatermass 2 since I bought it. Yeah, fun stuff. This Blu-ray, and actually this one as well, they're both Scream Factory, have a special feature where they include a World of Hammer episode about science fiction films, Hammer science fiction films. The World of Hammer was a series, and some of the episodes were put out on VHS by Anchor Bay. So now that I have that episode on here, I can get rid of this World of Hammer sci-fi VHS. So that was an interesting, unexpected upgrade. But yep, Quatermass 2. And of course, even though I've seen it, I'm like, well, I can't have 2 and 3 without part 1. So, and this is the only Kino Lorber title of this update. Got the Quatermass Experiment. Also known as the title I watched it under, The Creeping Unknown. So, finally own that. Another Scream Factory title that I picked up because the Vice finally dropped. The price finally dropped on Amazon. Double feature of Naked Vengeance and Vendetta, some more revenge films in the spirit of, again, Ms. 45, I Spit on Your Grave. I've seen Naked Vengeance before, and this was always, you know, like $25, $30, and I just let it sit there in my Amazon buy later cart for years. Finally dropped significantly. Grabbed it. Speaking of Scream Factory and their parent, Shout Factory. Shout Factory had a sale. And this is the first time I've actually taken part in one of their sales. I've bought from their website before, but just never, took part in one of their sales. But I got 8 titles in that sale, and I got these all to upgrade VHS. Starting with Shatter, starring Stuart Whitman from 1974. And I got that to upgrade this VHS under the title Call Him Mr. Shatter, which they do show here as an alternate title that you could flip it to, but I like Shatter. Next one. I challenge you not to laugh at this one. I honestly do. But can you guess the film? It stars Peter Fonda and Alec Baldwin. What could it be? What kind of strange action, adventure, drama could have Peter Fonda and Alec Baldwin in it? How about Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which I bought completely just to upgrade this thing. But I have seen the movie. I mean, it's been a long time. But yeah, just upgrading. You have to laugh at yourself some days, right? Kentucky Fried Movie. Upgrading my VHS. John Stamos in an action film. Never Too Young to Die. Upgrading this VHS. Now this Blu-ray does not have a alternate cover, a reversible cover. I wish it did. I wish it was this. I really wish it was this. But no. But anyway, upgrading this with this Blu-ray. Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. Don't know how that came loose. But upgrading VHS. In this movie, if you are not aware, they do their usual thing to the sci-fi classic This Island Earth. Fanny. Upgrade. I believe, TV movie with Henry Winkler, An American Christmas Carol. So I got to upgrade this. Have to remember to watch this in December. And the final one from the Shout Factory sale. A Boy and His Dog. A post-apocalyptic movie. A post-World War IV movie. Forget 3. Let's go directly to 4. With Don Johnson. Special appearance by Jason Robards. 1975. I watched this a long time ago on this VHS, this media tape. And it's an interesting film. Now, interesting thing about this Blu-ray is that when I was shopping for the sale, I pulled up this page because this is one that I wanted to get, obviously, to upgrade a VHS. And when it said copies available, it said 1. So I quickly threw it in the cart and checked out. Fortunately, I got it. When I went back to the page, sold out, it said. So I was lucky to get this. I don't know if they're making more, but I got my copy. Moving on, from Gorgon Video, a title that I thought I had seen, thought I'd owned, at least one of the two, but no, Death Spa. One of a handful of films in which people get killed in some kind of fitness space. Yeah. So, just filling that hole in my collection. Death Spa. Okay, I show this next one because, as always, I will defend these films, even to those whiny little people who want to complain about them and try to tear them down, as the haters that they are. But Captain America, Brave New World, perfectly fine film. Will it be my MCU top 10? No, but it doesn't have to be. Said that before. Perfectly fine film. Fun to see Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. But, yep, so I picked that up on 4K. Another studio film that I'm showing here because, well, one, I saw it recently and loved it, but also because I got the Walmart glow-in-the-dark cover for Megan. But I really loved this movie. To me, it felt like a nice throwback to 80s horror films, like 80s killer doll films. You know, this one just happens to be an AI killer doll. But, yeah. Found this at Walmart and glow-in-the-dark cover for $10. I said, yeah. From MGM, Made on Demand, we have Barbara Stanwyck, Trooper Hook. Again, trying to get Barbara Stanwyck's films. This one, of course, like I said, Made on Demand. As far as I know, the only way to get it, I don't know if there's a VHS, but as far as disc, I believe this is it. Moving over to Warner Archive for some more Barbara Stanwyck, I picked up A Lost Lady. I've seen this. I've seen Trooper Hook, but I've seen this as well. This one actually also co-stars Frank Morgan, the wizard from The Wizard of Oz. This movie is from 1934, so early Stanwyck, which I love. Yeah, Warner Archive. Also from Warner Archive, a film noir that I did not own and have not seen. The Locket. Robert Mitchum's in here. Lorraine Day. I haven't seen this one. Moving through more Warner Archive, this time Blu-ray. I got the brand new Looney Tunes Collector's Vault, Volume 1. 2-disc set. First disc, 25 choice tunes never before released on DVD or Blu-ray. Not entirely true, because as I was cataloging these, I had one of them on disc. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I did not have most of them. So always valuable. Then second disc is fan favorites never before in HD. So of course I had seen more of those, but still lots of those I didn't own. So this was well worth it for those of you collecting Looney Tunes cartoons. And, you know, Warner Brothers has put out many, many Looney Brothers cartoons on various DVD or Blu-ray sets. But, you know, good luck to those of us who are trying to get them all and having no clear, here's a starting point, here's all of them to the end point. We can just check them off and own them all. Anything like easy like that, good luck, but at least they're putting them out. So got that. Warner Archive giving us Monogram Matinee Volume 1. Happy to see this. I hope there's a Volume 2 and beyond. These three films in particular are from 1949, but these are, you know, the old Poverty Row Monogram Studios releases. They did a lot of B westerns, and of course you have a couple of them here. One Johnny Mac Brown movie with the Western Renegades, which I actually have on a Warner Brothers Warner Archive DVD collection of um, B westerns. Then you have Whip Wilson and Crashing Through here, which I did not have, and Mississippi Rhythm with Jimmy Davis. I've watched these two since buying this. Still need to watch this, but in continuing these, I do hope they don't just resort to recycling ones that were on DVD up to Blu-ray. I mean, they can do that, sure, but I won't buy them because I already have them. And at least here, two of them I did not have. So, but hey, I want to support this series, so because I don't know how many people will actually get excited over this, like I did. So anyway, Monogram Matinee Volume 1. Some Warner Archive television cartoons. I wanted to start watching this series because I don't believe I ever saw it when I was a kid. I don't think it was on any channels that I got. I of course was a huge fan of Transformers, but I really didn't have a lot of access to the GoBots. So I just picked up the original miniseries to give it a start, see where it goes. But I mean, I'll always prefer Transformers, of course. But I do remember back in grade school, back in the 80s, when you had the Transformers kids, you had the GoBots kids, and they would argue. Of course, I was a Transformers kid. Most were. But I still liked the GoBots because they were giant robots. They were like Transformers. Yes, I liked them. But I don't think I ever saw the show. Anyway, speaking of giant robots, one show that I did watch when I was a kid, very young, and loved, from Warner Archive, The Mighty Orbots, complete series. I've been wanting to get this for a long time. Finally went ahead and got it. A show I watched when I was young, really enjoyed when I was young. Giant robots, robots that joined together like Voltron into a giant robot. But it was a unique cartoon. You know, the robot designs, the personalities, the whole scenario was pretty neat. And finally picked up the whole series here. I do have some of these episodes on VHS, which I'm keeping because, you know, they're old collector's items. But yeah, happy to get that. Speaking of television, but not Warner Archive, something I've had in my Amazon buy later cart for years. Finally got it. Complete series of War of the Worlds from the 1988 series that ran through 1990. It says. I remember watching an episode of this back when it was on TV. And I was young back then. 1988, I would have been like 11. So it was a little dark for me back then, but I've wanted to check it out ever since. This series, I realized once I watched the pilot episode, the pilot movie length episode, was that this is meant to be a direct sequel to the old 50s War of the Worlds movie, which I thought was cool. Even shows in the pilot, you know, some of those craft coming back to life, the ones we saw in the 50s movie. So, kind of cool. From Fun City Editions, finally picked this up. T.R. Baskin, Candice Bergen, a young Candice Bergen, from 1971. Wanted to check this out and finally got around to buying it. An old Shriek Show DVD. From Jeff Lieberman, slasher film I didn't own. I've seen it, of course, but didn't own. Just Before Dawn. So I just grabbed this DVD because I wanted to own it, and this was, I think, the cheapest alternative. It's DVD, it's fine, whatever. But yeah, Just Before Dawn, George Kennedy, a young Greg Henry. The only Arrow thing I got this time around, box set of J Horror Rising. I've been getting into J Horror a lot in the past year. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. Um, a bit more than usual. I've been going back and watching a lot of the films that I missed. And this one is full of a lot of the more, or I should say, the lesser known films. There are 7 films on here. The only one I've seen was Inugami. But I also owned Carved on DVD. But grabbed this set to delve deeper into this horror genre, this J-horror thing. I did watch the J-horror documentary that they put out a while back, so it really kind of ignited the, hey, yeah, I should go back and watch some of those feeling. Criterion. I realized that I did not own this classic film noir at all, so I grabbed just on Criterion DVD, pick up on South Street. I just wanted to own it. Richard Widmark in this film. Then a newer title from Criterion. I did grab Anora. I haven't seen it yet. I know, terrible. But I did want to make sure I got it so that I could watch it whenever. And I love the colors of the cover. So, grab the Nora, of course, the most recent Best Picture winner, Sean Baker. And the last item to spotlight. From Eureka, Masters of Cinema series. I think my first, actually, which is just astounding. I don't know why that is. But I got the box set Terror in the Fog, the Wallace Krimi collection from the 60s. These are crime films, hugely popular with West German audiences. These I learned about when I delved into giallo films. These are like the proto-giallos, the precursor to giallos, things that inspired giallos, a lot of similar tropes and such. But yeah, here you get, even though it advertises 5 films, you actually get 6 films. One is a special feature, and you see all 6 of them here. But considering I was interested in seeing these kind of films back when I was learning about giallo, and they were not easy to find, I'm happy now to be able to at least easily watch 6 of them in this set. One comment about this company. When you do this kind of thing, I much prefer Eureka's method of just making it a little thing that this box can sit in, instead of just being awkwardly wrapped around it, and you think, okay, how do I keep this around? Do I tape it onto it? What do I do with it? Some people throw it away, which I cannot do. Happy that this just sits in there, no problem. Anyway, so that's the last item to spotlight. I need a break, but here's everything else I picked up from Goodwill. And this one will upgrade a VHS. From an antique mall. I already have the complete miniseries version, but I wanted to get this DVD of the director's cut, specifically to replace this VHS. From Goodwill, with One VHS upgrade. From Goodwill, some DVDs, including 3 VHS upgrades, and then 2 Blu-rays. From Second and Charles, some DVDs, including these 3 VHS upgrades, and a couple horror titles. Got this DVD to upgrade this VHS. From eBay. Got this DVD to upgrade this VHS. Got this Blu-ray to upgrade this VHS. And another from eBay to upgrade VHS. From Goodwill, including this Warner Archive of the Learning Tree. That was a cool find. And this one upgrades the VHS. This time around for the Pantheon, I'm going to look at 2 films that involve trains. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I like movies that involve trains. I like trains. What can I say? These 2 films involve trains. Can I say it one more time? Trains. First up, Narrow Margin from 1990. Gene Hackman and Archer. This film I first watched several years ago, and when I watched it, I was just totally involved, invested, totally loved it. It's kind of neo-noirish. It's a remake of a film noir, but the only thing that, well, the main thing that's similar with the old film is that it happens on a train. They change a lot of other things, and it gives it its own identity as a film. And it makes it mysterious and it's suspenseful and action-packed, and you're trying to figure things out, or at least Gene Hackman is. And who will betray him? What will happen? It's a fun movie. I loved this movie when I first saw it. Grabbed it first chance I could, which was this DVD. I know it's out on Blu-ray and maybe even 4K, but that's okay. This is good for now. But I love this movie. Narrow Margin, 1990. Gene Hackman, R.I.P. It's great. Yeah. If you haven't seen this, obviously, I recommend it. But like I said, it does have a nice release that you can check out if you're interested on Blu-ray, if not 4K. But definitely, most of this movie happens on a train, and I loved that. So, the 1990 remake, Narrow Margin, good stuff. The next one, I first watched on one of those Mill Creek 50 movie box sets, I think. If not, it was one of those $1 releases from Walmart that they used to put out almost like 20 years ago. Anyway, Night Train to Terror from 1985, a horror anthology film, but it's an anthology assembled from films, from other films, 3 other films. One of them, from what I understand, was never released. But the framing sequence is, of course, on a train. Another one where they're telling stories on a train, like Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Except here we have God and Satan deciding the lives of 3 unfortunate souls on a train bound for hell. So, yeah. This, like I said, has 3 main stories. And it's not that this movie is fantastic. It's that it's just so crazy the stuff that they put in here and cobbled together and edited together is just unbelievable to behold. Now, as I said, it's from 3 different films. The first comes from a film, I think, called Scream Your Head Off, which, like I said, was, I believe, unreleased. But the other 2 sections come from existing films. Now, they're both kind of scarce, low-budget films themselves, but I do actually own them. The second part of this, the second story, called Greta, they actually include in here on DVD, on the DVD version of this release, they include the full movie of Greta. So that was great because I had it on VHS, so that upgraded it automatically. But I'm keeping my VHS because that movie on VHS was an old Regal video titled Death Wish Club. So this movie, Death Wish Club, is where they took the second story for Night Train to Terror from. And this is a 93-minute movie, which they edited down. And not only did they edit it down, but they added effects. They changed some things, added some effects. So it's really they took some footage from here and really just played around with it. But yeah, Death Wish Club, or as they have as a bonus feature here, Greta, same film, but that's where the second part comes from. The third part in this movie, the movie that they hacked up to be the third story, is from a movie that's called either Cataclysm or The Nightmare Never Ends. I have The Nightmare Never Ends on this Mill Creek 50 movie box, but I also have it on VHS. This is a Premier Entertainment International VHS of The Nightmare Never Ends. And of course, this is the section with Cameron Mitchell and Richard Mall. Yeah, Night Court Richard Mall. So that's where the third story comes from. But when you look at what they put together to make this, this is just one of those movies that you just want to put on, because it's so crazy. And I watched it at a certain time in life where it really kind of stuck. So it's become one of my favorite movies. Anyway, Night Train to Terror. This is, of course, the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. For today's bookshelf, I have 2 books that are related, not only related to each other, but related to things I talked about earlier in the video, and that is Hammer films and Amicus films, British horror films. I recently got 2 books to kind of feed this interest in watching Hammer and Amicus and the other British companies' films. First one, Hammer Films, an Exhaustive Filmography, Tom Johnson and Deborah Del Vecchio, with a foreword by Peter Cushing. But this one from McFarland, who they do a lot of great books, a lot of great reference, movie reference, TV reference, goes film by film through Hammer's entire filmography. Not just the horror films, not just the sci-fi, but everything. They go through and film by film talk about each one. Of course, they give you the specifications, the actors, all that stuff. But then they, in a brief synopsis, but they talk about the film. And I love that. So if I wanted to go through Hammer films from the beginning, if you wanted to go through Hammer films from the beginning, this will be a great tool. And if you're a fan of Hammer, this is probably just a good thing to have. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to maybe kind of starting at the beginning. I've seen a lot in here, but a lot of these earlier films are not horror and possibly hard to find. So I don't know. Anyway, Hammer Films, an exhaustive filmography. I love that they use that adjective. And the next one is more general British and more specifically horror. A Vault of Horror, a book of 80 great British horror movies from 1956 to 1974, and they have an asterisk beside great that says, and not so great, by Keith Topping. Now this goes through, as it says, 80 films, horror films, British horror films, and it goes one by one, and it gives you all the specifications, and it even gives you his thoughts on them. But it's more of a reference book. It'll tell you what other movies the actors were in, what other films were directed by the director. It'll tell you things about the production. It'll tell you trivia, quotes, different critiques from or different reviews from other sources on 80 different British horror films. So, well worth having, and I've been going through it. But another great reference book for British horror, and has a pretty cool cover. That'll do it for this episode of The Cinematic Attic. Until next time, everyone, enjoy your movies.